So, do you believe that religion should be taught in our schools? Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, or atheism? It's a touchy subject with most people. Got a little touchier this last week. Last Friday, May 1st, Judge James Salina of the U.S. District Court in Central California ruled on a case involving a student and a teacher. The teacher's name was Mr. Corbett, and the student's name was Chad Farnan, if I'm pronouncing that correct. This case was about whether or not the student's right had been infringed upon in an advanced placement European history class. The student had about 20 different complaints about comments that the teacher had made. I read the court case about 5 times, and the judge's ruling is confusing at best. But let me try and get down to the nuts and bolts of it. In the Constitution, the First Amendment is what most call the Establishment Clause. This establishes freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom right to assemble, freedom right to petition. Also, on a note, these rights are not given by the Constitution. They're said to be already in existence. So, we're not given these rights. We have these rights already as human beings. The lemon test, a 3-pronged test to decide whether or not your right to the freedom of religion has been infringed upon. The first is whether or not the action has a secular legislative purpose. The second part of the lemon test is whether or not that action inhibits or promotes a religion, or religion in general, from the way that I read it. The third is whether or not it has excessive government entanglements. The judge ruled against James Corbett and for Chad Farnan on 2 different occasions. First, James stated in class that creationism was religious nonsense. The judge stated that this violated Chad Farnan's right via the first prong of the lemon test, and that it had a secular legislative purpose. In another class, the second item, James Corbett stated that there's no creation unless you invoke magic. The judge said this may offend some people with a religious nature. Thus again, ruling for Chad Farnan. This time, using the second prong of the lemon test, stating that it inhibited or advanced religion. I think the judge's ruling was wrong, and that when it does go to appeal, it will be overturned. I am happy about one thing. He did state that creationism was religious, which it is. It doesn't belong anywhere in any science books in any part of the country whatsoever. I really think that this is the central part of his argument as a student, and if it had been in science class, this would have been thrown out immediately. You know, if you're a Muslim or a Buddhist and you had thought up a creationist theory and based it on the Quran or any writings of Buddha and tried to get it into the school systems anywhere in the U.S., you would be laughed right out of that city, maybe even out of the country. I think it's a sham that creationism is even talked about on any scientific level, or we're even debating it. The fact that this student sued the school for something as trivial as this is really, really upsetting. The fact that OC Register, the local paper, gave such a jaded and one-sided report of this court case infuriates me, especially the caption underneath the teacher's picture. So, that's all I got to say. If you disagree with me, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. I'm PJ Corona, and I'm an atheist. Feel free to contact me on any of these websites. Thank you.